All right, so we're going to be talking about multiple representations of a linear function. And so when I say multiple representations, I'm talking about a linear equation, the table, the graph, and then a verbal description. Okay, so let's take a look at this equation. First off, anytime you have an equation, you always want it to be in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, this is your slope-intercept form. So before I do anything, I want this equation to be solved for y. Okay, so here's my y. So I need to move the 3x to the other side. In order to do that, I will subtract. That will make those cancel. You'll have y equals. Now when you write this, make sure you put your slope and your x first, so negative 3x comes first. The 4 will then just come down behind it. Okay, so it's saying, write this equation in slope-intercept form. That is your slope-intercept form. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is graph. So I'm going to pull up, we'll graph and table. I'm going to pull up my calculator. And I'm going to type in y equals negative 3x plus 4. Okay, so on your calculator, you hit y equals. You will type in negative 3x plus 4. Okay, if you hit graph, it will graph it. So this is what your graph will look like. Second graph pulls up your table. I'm going to scroll down to where at least like right there. Okay, so I want to fill out my table. It has 5 points on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just screenshot a little bit of this onto my table. So there would be 5 points. And then I'm going to put that in and cover this table up. So here would be my points. Okay, so you can write those in yourself. All right. From there, if we graph, we look at our equation. So our equation again was y equals negative 3x plus 4. That means your slope is negative 3. Your y-intercept is 4. So when you're graphing, you graph your y-intercept first. I'm going up to 4. My slope is negative 3/4. So because it's negative, remember your line will be in this direction. Okay, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Then up 1, 2, 3 over 1. And then I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 over 1. And you'll just go in both directions like that. And there's your graph. And so you can always use your graphing calculator to make sure that's right. And then the verbal description here says the graph of the function contains the point blank. You can choose any point you want. Okay, so I'm just going to come back up to my table. I'm going to choose negative 1, 7. It does not matter what point you choose. So it does contain the point, negative 1, 7. And when the value of x increases by 1, okay, so if you notice, from here to here, I'm adding 1. From here to here, adding 1. All the way down. So I'm adding 1 on this side. Over here, to get from 10 to 7, I'm subtracting 3. 7 to 4, I'm subtracting 3. 4 to 1, I'm subtracting 3. So forth. So this is what makes that slope. Okay, so it makes it negative 3. So when you do your slope, it can also be represented as your change in y over your change in x. Okay, so here my change in my y's are negative 3. The change in my x's are positive 1. Negative 3 over 1 is negative 3. So if you had just a table like this and you had to figure out the slope, you can do that like this. So to finish the sentence, when the value of x increases by 1, the value of y decreases by 3 units. Okay, and then the little questions at the bottom. It says, is the slope of the line positive or negative? Okay, you can look at any of these. All right, right there, -3, that is your slope. We also found -3 from the table, which is our slope. The slope right here says it's -3. Okay, so it is negative, and then it wants you to circle which thing that you used to figure that out. Okay, I'm just going to say I use the equation. You can use the graph, you can use the table, you can use verbal. All right, when the x value increases by 2, what happens to the y value? Okay, I think I'm going to use my table for that. So it's saying if I'm increasing by 2 right here, so I'm going up 2, then what's happening to this y value? And it is decreasing by 6. So I'm going 2 at a time. So when I add 2, then I'm subtracting 6. So it decreases by 6, and then I use my table for that. And then what is the value of x when y equals -5? Okay, so we can do anything here. We can pull the table back up. We can plug in a value for our equation. Okay, it doesn't matter. So we want a y value of -5. So I'm going to pull my thing back up. So right here on the screen, where y is -5, it won't let me write, but we're right here. Y is -5, the x value is 3. So when the value of x when y is -5 is 3. So x would equal 3. And I use my table to figure that out as well. Okay, so the other 2 pages are very similar to this. I want you to work through those on your own.